All right, I suppose we can get started with the first item here. Shelley, thanks for adding it. Why don't you go ahead?
Hey there, I'm here with Matan from the UI team. We were just having a meeting about the indications for VM snapshots. There is an open epic about how we want to present to the user what's the issue or what does this indication mean. For example, online with no guest agent, or the new indication of a quiz failed. And we were just discussing what's the best way to do it. And if it was just time for the SIG storage meeting, I said, why not bring it up to the team to think what's the best way. Matan has asked if it's possible to add to the backend itself a warning string or something like that he won't need to invent that in the UI.
We don't need to make mapping for strings regarding based on indications. Like today, the warning can be something, and a year from now, it can be something else, depending on the changes. We don't want to be like always playing cat and mouse regarding the changes of the strings, what is the right and proper message. So if you can get it from the YAML under conditions, under status, under something, even change the indication struct, it will be great.
Okay, one question I would have first off is how does that work? Maybe this is my ignorance about how the internationalization works for the UI, but do you guys have internationalization, right?
Yeah, we do have.
Okay, so you'll still need to maintain like translations of whatever string we pick.
Not quite, not always. For me, I mean, like, no guest agent won't be translated, for example.
Okay.
So it depends on the wording itself. Objects, kinds, things like that are not getting translation.
Yeah, so the current indications and the purpose of the indications was to be like a very short and explicit indication. Online, guest agent, no guest agent, and now we added the new accused failed. And we suggested, if you remember, in another SIG storage, that we will ask the UI to add some like a pop-up floating bubble if you move your mouse on top of one of the indications.
Basically, we give you guys the full control about what will be presented. We will find the match between the indication and the string related to it, and we'll present it. You have the full control about what will be presented. So if something changes in the future, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, so Shelley, can you remind me the what's the current API looking like then? Do we have like an example of that I could
So currently there are these 4 indication. It's just it's indication array, like string array in the snapshot status. Yeah. So it's a problem, I think, to change the variable from an array of strings to array of some kind of struct. So that's the issue. It's not compatible. And like adding another like warning field is also a bit like dirty, I think.
Yeah, and those strings are kind of an API in of themselves. Exactly, because they're like a key. They're more like a key instead of a usable string. Like normally you would have maybe a key in a message, like like you were saying, maybe an array of structs, but I don't think we can do that in a compatible way.
Yeah, exactly. It's a array of strings instead of like the conditions where you have like ready and the reason or stuff like that. It's not another condition. It's just like a short, very specific indication of what was the status of the snapshot when it was taken. And supposedly, if you don't know what it means that there is no guest agent, but you're online, you're supposed to I guess, search for the documentation. What does no guest agent means?
Hmm.
But I think you don't must change the indication like from array of strings to array of struct. Maybe under status or conditions, we already have error struct, right? Maybe add also warning struct, and the mapping will be there, like presenting something new that won't cause anything like regarding backward compatibility.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious what others think. Like it's been a while. I guess I don't remember the exact um, let me see if I can.
What are you searching? The indications? I can
Yeah,
share I can share my screen. It's I cannot share my screen. You are sharing your screen, so I cannot share my screen.
yeah, I can give it over to you though. Otherwise, I have I don't know if it's actually. We should see if it's actually
It's
not.
supposed to be documented. No, on the snapshot part. No. Go up maybe. Why is it's not even in the documentation. It was supposed to be.
Okay, so that's definitely something we need to capture as a need.
I remember it was in some documentation. Maybe the user guide, I'm not sure. Or OpenShift guide. Yeah, maybe the OpenShift one. Because the UI is in OpenShift. But
Right.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
also the seal in the
yeah,
space.
I'll point out this whole topic is a little bit like a little bit product focused for this meeting, but we are all here, so I guess we'll just have the conversation. It's fine. But it definitely should be
Yeah, because
keyword.
Matan's point is also that if we will add it to the backend, then it will also serve the CLI users and not just the UI users.
Someone will just then the YAML, you can see like the warning itself and not guess and go to the docs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
So we can have the indications and another warning elaborating a message, like when we add the indication for no guest agent, we can write that a more explicit information of what does that mean, or
The problem is you can have more than one indication. So you could have, in theory, well, not in theory, but it follows naturally that you could have more than one warning too. So then we're talking about having
supposedly, although the current indications at least are online guest agent, no guest agent, and queued failed. So the only ones that are warningly are the no guest agent and the queues failed, which are mutually exclusive.
Yeah, but in the future, like for example, if you like for any indication today, we are showing some kind of a badge, some kind of a label. So if there is a matching reason for it, like this is the object that we are talking now about adding, if there is something that is matched, we can show like a popover with the information there. So if in the future we add 5 more or reduce it to 1, the behavior is the same. It's like transparent in the UI. We don't care. No responsibility.
Yeah, so it seems to, I mean, I guess I'm not sure what others think, but like it seems like if we want to do that, we made a mistake with the indications API and need to have a better one that actually has an array of structs, because I don't see how to actually map it properly without doing something a little bit unnatural.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else have opinions about it? All right,
Yeah, just
group
add a
chat.
new field and deprecate the old one.
A new indication field?
Yeah.
What's the API version of, I guess we're beta still?
Yeah, we're beta.
Okay. I keep going here as if I'll be able to actually look at the full representation of the object. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it sounds like just conditions, but I don't know why we're not using conditions.
Yeah.
Maybe because conditions can change and these cannot. Once
Yeah,
they're
it's because
saved.
it's not, yeah, it's not really a state of the snapshot. It's more like a conclusion of what happened. It's not a message related to ready per se. It's not progressing. It's not failed.
Yeah, no one's gonna wait for the no guest agent condition.
Yeah.
Right, but can we have multiple guest agent conditions?
Cool. הכל שלכם.
You can have, what are they again? It's online, no guest agent, and quiesce failed. Right? So presumably there could be other ones that get added if we discover new ways that a snapshot can be, like, for example, when
We have multiple at the same time.
can we have multiples at the same time? Is that the question?
Yeah, because you have a reason and a message field in a condition, so you can have the reason field indicate, you know, the type sort of, and the actual message be the message that you want to display.
Right, and I guess if you have we would have like a ready, progressing, and like what would the
Guest
What would
agent
the
status
name
or
be?
something, or
Because I'm just wondering if in that case,
Because then we'd be back to the same thing. Like we'd have a type of condition and then there would be a string in there that like it would be like error or indication or something. And then there would be a string, which is essentially the same problem we have now.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd hate to change this multiple times.
And
if
to
we-
me, like these indications are they're not things that change. So they're not
right, that's the conditions can change, and if these
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like we'd be overloading conditions.
conditions are not like good fail.
Mhm. And I'm gonna write that here.
Yeah, maybe write it down so when somebody says, hey, why not use a condition, we can say why.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like when the snapshot is completed, then here's some additional things we're telling you about it pragmatically. Okay. So I think, yeah, this sounds like I guess to me this sounds like a medium term thing to do. I guess it wouldn't take that long, but we should probably create some kind of an issue to track that. I see two here. We actually have this one.
Yeah. I can create a ticket for it for the backend, and the UI can put a pause on the ticket until we have it done.
Mhm.
What is the fixed version that you think? What you would do with targeted Adam?
I mean, it's
120.
probably
Yeah.
it'd be 421, I think, which
21.
that's 117, right?
17 is 420.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Is it? All right.
No, like I think 16 is 420.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 20 we will not get
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. So 421, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm moving windows around so I can click. Okay. Okay, and then I'll work the rest of it in terms, yeah, because this is an API change, so it would have to land in 1.7 or later. Okay. All right, I think that makes sense. Sometimes we gotta pivot a little bit, but I think that's a flexible solution for that. All right. Anybody else have any other topics? I think we're good on that one. Are there any issues that we should go check out? Any VEPs that we should review?
Regarding
There's-
issues that, well, yes, Alex?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that there are a couple of new issues in the CDI repo, but they are already covered and have comments, so
Okay.
nothing too important.
So
And then Alex,
there's-
you were gonna say something?
There's an interesting PR from Arnon. Maybe you want to talk about that. Basically, he has found a way to use image streams. I know a lot of OpenShift today, but a way to use image streams and keep polling properly without looking at the image stream, like just abusing the fact that the container can be pulled, like the image can be pulled.
Okay.
Let me find that quickly. Can't hear you, Arnon.
Can you open the PR?
Yeah,
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. So one user complained that he cannot use the Reddit registry or other authenticated registry using the DV node pool methods for data input cruns because we don't want to use image stream because it wants it to be vendor agnostic and not be tightly tied to OpenShift. And he was complaining that we allow this combination of using a node pool method in the DV template in the input cron without image stream, okay, which we actually don't really support. So I simply provided a way to use it without image stream by simply polling using a dummy container using the container image. I haven't really checked if it's that cheap because it will be cheap once we get this container image and cache the image. But I guess since we our pool strategy is always and not only on update. If every time we we create this container, it will pull this image again, container image again. So we need to check if it's expensive, assuming that the registry access is done, I don't know, once in a few days or something. I guess it's a valid solution for this specific use case. But I need some more opinions about it. So far, I got feedback only from Adi.
Yeah, my worry was a scheduling decision for the poller being
Oh,
different from the importer. But you could argue that whatever, it just gets purged after a few days, that it's not used, and whatever.
yeah, regarding caching, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Cryo will purge it. I don't know how long it'll take, but me and Adi talked to them as part of his recent work around multiple architectures, and definitely gets garbage collected. So it could still cost you, but it does definitely get garbage collected in the end. But I was thinking maybe we could somehow couple the poller to the importer. I don't see an obvious solution
It's
to how to
using
do
the
that.
same container because it needs something to. It's a very
Is
short
it?
PR. PR, you can just give. You can share the pod creation there. Quite trivial. Few lines of code. Of course.
So they run in the same? No, no way they run in the same pod.
No, it's using the same image. It's using, you can look at the PR. Just open it. It's not a long one. Just
I
open
did
the
have
system.
an alternative idea for how to do it instead of creating another pod, which is to actually acknowledge the pull method at the external source caller, and sort of like work around it by adding a ephemeral container, like make it add an ephemeral container to itself. That way we do get the image digest as we're delegating the pull to the CRI underneath. And then we can
I'm
just
not,
query it. Pardon?
I'm not sure if ephemeral container will do the work and get the privileges we want, the OpenShift ones. Are you
Why
sure?
not? We're delegating it to the CRI underneath, so it should theoretically do that.
We can try that.
Yeah. But this way is pretty good. I'm pretty sure.
So is this going to replace the existing method that we use for everything, or just in a specific case?
No, just for the combination of a node pull method without an image stream. Okay.
Okay.
If you usually we in the OpenShift case we're using a node pull method with image stream. Otherwise, you have no reason to use image stream.
Right.
And
Okay.
you didn't want to use the image stream because it's OpenShift specific.
So I think one interesting thing would be to talk to like I'm not sure who the contact would be, but to find somebody who works on image streams and ask them if they could see any downsides to this, because in a way what we're saying is you don't actually really need image streams. Like I know that that's a little bit more efficient.
Actually, we didn't use image stream the way it was designed. We just used it for getting the digest. We're not using it in a smart way.
Yeah.
It was just a way to work around the limitation of getting the digest.
Hmm.
Yeah, if we're talking to them, then I would also ask them just give us actually no, that won't be the image stream people, that would be like the Kubernetes node team. They could just give you an API to just give me the hash. All I need is the hash. I don't want to pull the image. Just give me the hash that corresponds to my tag, and I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, of course it will be much cheaper.
But that wouldn't be the image stream people. It would be you'd have to go through the container runtime and all that down the chain.
Yeah.
That would be very difficult because Kubernetes itself uses kubectl delegated to the underlying CRIs, like all providers would need to support as well. So at the very least, it'll take a lot of time. Like I've done a lot of research in this.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't seem like, especially since it's like kind of it's a new, like adding a new level of support here for data import cron. So like where people couldn't use it before, now they can use it. It may have some downsides, potentially, but not really. That it doesn't seem like it's right, like you said, that bad. I think if we can figure out how to not like download it multiple times on accident would be great. But yeah, I mean, it's from my perspective, it seems reasonable. But you guys did more of the research here.
Yeah, but it's an edge case. It's not. I guess that most of our users will either use cron jobs with spool method pod or image streams when they are using OpenShift. So
Hmm.
it's not the common use case.
Right.
Yeah, I guess this solution is fine, and if you want to explore a D solution, async, but I think I'm gonna approve it after the meeting.
It's interesting, for investigation, but I'm not sure I have the time for the sprint.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Any other discussion on this one then? All right, I'll pop back up to the main agenda. I guess I should put this in here. Okay. All right, any other topics? All right, I guess seeing none, we can end a little bit early today. Thanks everybody for joining. Have a good day.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Right.
Bye.